Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel D Creations Resources. We are looking at different aspects of research methodology, and today let us look at different steps that are taken in a research process typically. So we've already seen how to write a research proposal and so on, and now for that purpose, of course, you need to first finalize your research problem. So obviously the first step is selecting a research problem, and for that you have to make sure that it is feasible and practical, and you have the required instrumentation or access to databases so that it can be completed in the stipulated time frame. Then of course comes the step of extensive literature survey. Now literature survey is actually very beneficial for you because you don't need to repeat things which have already been done. So whatever is the field, you can check especially the review articles or reference books in that for that field, and find out what has already been done for the topic that you have chosen in case of the topic. And then of course you need to find the gaps, that okay, some things have already been done, but what is missing, or if there are some disadvantages, will my research problem uh, have some advantages, or is there something new that is going to come up. So all those things literature survey would give you. And even for your own work you need to get some basic knowledge, so that also you are going to get through the research papers and the books that you have considered when you have been doing a literature survey. Then of course you have to make hypotheses. So before you begin with the actual work, what is your idea, so that you need to jot it down. And please remember that in some cases the hypothesis will work out and some cases it may not work out, but there is nothing wrong even if your hypothesis doesn't work out, right? It gives you a different direction, so as to say. So be honest to whatever data you are getting, and accordingly you should see whether your hypothesis is going to be true, or the results are completely different from what you had anticipated. But in any case you need to make the hypothesis, and that time with whatever available data is there, you would base your hypothesis on that. Then of course is the crucial step of designing your research. Now suppose if it's experimental research, you need to decide what kind of procedures, what kind of techniques you are going to use. Whether for example if it's nanotechnology and you want to synthesize a new find a new method of synthesis, then you have to work in that direction. Or whether you would be using some methods that have already been used, and when you are preparing the research design, that time itself you would know what resources you are going to require, what chemicals, what laboratory material, what databases access, all those things you are going to know when you are going to research design your research. And of course you have an idea about what is feasible, what is accessible, and accordingly you are going to design your research. So ideally it can be designed in such a way, but of course you need to be practical, and in the given circumstances you have to give your best and design your research process or research method. Then of course is the step of data collection. So now you've designed your research and you've started working towards it, and now this data collection will depend on what kind of a research problem you are tackling. So for example, if you are synthesizing a material, then you are going to go for characterization techniques, and it could be microscopic techniques, it could be spectroscopic techniques, etc. Then comes the part of data analysis. So you have collected the data and now you have to analyze it. For that purpose you will make use of whatever literature survey you had done earlier. and then you analyze the data. Once you analyze the data, you have a fair idea whether your hypothesis is working, or is it in agreement with the hypothesis you had made, or is it different. So that's the hypothesis testing step. And as I already said, there's nothing wrong even if it comes out to be very different from what you had anticipated. That is also data. So there's no bad data in research. This gives you a different direction, that's all. Then of course you need to interpret it completely. Whatever results and conclusions you are getting from the data, you need to jot them down. If possible, you can make some generalizations based on whatever results you are getting. And you also need to, so research usually doesn't stop at a point. So you also need to think that, okay, fine, if at this point, even if I conclude with certain results, if I want to take it further, what kind of future direction do I have? And usually, if you are thinking of applications, suppose, as I said, if you had prepared some materials and you want to think of applications, of course, it might come under future direction. And then, of course, you will prepare a report of whatever you've done. You've been jotting down stuff in the entire process, but finally, you have to have everything together. So that's in simple terms a research process that a person needs to go right from the inception of a research problem up to the results and the future direction that it has led to. Thank you.